The crack of a gunshot shattered the air, and Tyrone Johnson's world changed forever. Raised in a cramped South Boston apartment, surrounded by cracked sidewalks and the salty tang of the harbor, Tyrone had always dreamed of escaping his struggles. But on one fateful evening, his voice failed him, and the price was his best friend's life. Despite his chronic stutter, Tyrone excelled in school, pouring himself into books and numbers where words often failed him. His best friend Billy was his anchor, a kid with a crooked smile who always knew how to turn Tyrone's silence into laughter. Life wasn't always easy, but together they dreamed of bigger things, even if bigger things felt impossibly far away. Their world shattered when they stumbled upon a bodega robbery, their wide eyes fixed on the flash of a gun. The clerk's body crumpled to the floor, and the thieves ran. Billy, terrified, bolted too. "Stop!" a policeman shouted. Tyrone tried to yell out, to explain, but his words tangled in his throat. A single gunshot echoed, and Billy's lifeless body hit the pavement. The grief was suffocating. Tyrone ran, unable to face the accusing eyes of his neighborhood or his own reflection. He boarded a bus bound for New York City, hoping the chaos of the big city would drown out the echoes of that night. Across the country, Tandy Bowen's life looked perfect from the outside. Shaker Heights, Ohio was a picturesque suburb with manicured lawns and luxury cars parked in driveways. But for Tandy, her home was a gilded cage. Her mother was a former model whose beauty masked a cold, self-absorbed heart. Tandy's father had vanished years ago, chasing spiritual rebirth in India and leaving behind only unanswered questions. Melissa's new husband was kind but distant, an accessory to a family that never truly fit together. Feeling invisible in her own home, Tandy sought comfort in Rob Daltrey, an older boy who whispered sweet promises before disappearing to college without looking back. Heartbroken and lost, Tandy packed a bag and boarded a bus to New York City, chasing freedom, or at the very least, escape. The bus terminal was a symphony of noise, footsteps, laughter, arguments, and the occasional distant rumble of engines. Tyrone watched the crowds, his stomach knotting with hunger and the weight of guilt. Then he saw her, Tandy Bowen, a girl with soft blonde hair and wide, searching eyes. Looked like she belonged in a different world. Tyrone's hand hovered near his pocket, debating whether to steal her purse, but before he could decide, someone else snatched it. On instinct, Tyrone tackled the thief. The bag landed at Tandy's feet, and their eyes met.
"Thanks,"
she said, her voice carrying a warmth Tyrone hadn't felt in some time. She bought him a sandwich with what little money she had left, and just like that, two broken pieces found a fragile connection. When a group of men approached the teens, offering shelter and safety, Tandy's face lit up with hope. Tyrone's stomach churned with suspicion, but he went along, unwilling to leave her side. The promise of safety was a lie. The teens were drugged and delivered to Dr. Simon Marshall, a cold-eyed chemist working for the Maja crime syndicate. His experimental synthetic drug had already claimed countless lives, and Tyrone and Tandy were next in line. But something extraordinary happened. The drug, meant to kill, awakened something inside them. When the chance presented itself, they attempted to escape, but it wasn't clean. Alongside them was another victim, a quiet man who would later become Mr. Negative. Together, they stumbled into the cold waters of the Hudson River, emerging on the other side, forever changed. Tyrone, now shrouded in his cloak of darkness, felt an insatiable hunger gnawing at him. Tandy, radiant as the sun, discovered that her light could quell his darkness, offering him fleeting moments of peace. They named themselves Cloak and Dagger, a nod to the powers that had saved and cursed them. Fueled by anger and a fierce sense of justice, they declared war on the criminal underworld that preyed on vulnerable youth. Their methods were brutal at first. When they found Dr. Marshall, they didn't hesitate to deliver justice permanently, despite Spider-Man's pleas for mercy. Over time, Tandy's empathy softened their mission. She reminded Tyrone of the boy he used to be, the one who dreamed of a brighter future. But Tyrone's darkness was a constant struggle, a reminder that justice often came at a cost. Despite their differences, the bond between Cloak and Dagger grew unshakable. Tandy turned down every offer to return to her old life, refusing to abandon Tyrone. In their union of light and shadow, they found purpose, protecting the innocent, punishing the wicked, and proving that even the most broken souls could become a force for good.